You might think, based on the warm relationship between Washington and Qatar, that this wealthy Gulf nation, awash in natural gas, is an outpost of democracy. After all, the country hosts the largest U.S. military base in the Middle East. It will also be the home to a new Trump International Golf Course and has given the White House a $400 million 747 jetliner. However, Qatar is basically a kingdom, and according to critics, no defender of Western values.
Qatar is the opposite of all that. Qatar is an Islamist ideological emirate that seeks in every single step of its activities to promote jihad.
Yigal Carmon leads the Middle East Media Research Institute, or MEMRI, and he says Qatar is a hub of Muslim extremism and a major source of international terrorism.
They do it in what you would call, on the one hand, soft power, using their immense wealth, but also by hard power, by supporting every jihadist movement on the face of the planet.
The laundry list is a long one. The mastermind of 9/11, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, was a Qatari government employee. Qatar has long sponsored the Muslim Brotherhood, which seeks a worldwide Islamic government. Qatar finances and hosts Hamas and has backed Palestinian terrorism. It has strong ties with Iran and the Taliban, and it broadcasts anti-Semitism and lies about Israel as well as anti-American propaganda through its global TV channel Al Jazeera. There have also been reports Qatar funds terrorists in Africa who kill Christians. On October 7th, Qatar blamed Israel for the Hamas massacre. And when Israel killed the mastermind behind the attack, Yahya Sinwar, the mother of Qatar's emir, in a now deleted post on X, wrote that Sinwar will live on and Israel will be gone.
This is the emir of Qatar and the former commander of Hamas. Look at the smiles of love in the faces. For them, the elimination of Israel is the core belief.
An Islamic nation that hates Israel and supports terrorism might not sound surprising, but Qatari influence runs deep in Washington and within the Trump administration. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Attorney General Pam Bondi, FBI Director Kash Patel, Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff, and EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin have either lobbied for Qatar, worked for firms that did, or had a business relationship with the emirate. Last month, former Education Secretary Bill Bennett also registered as a lobbyist for Qatar. His stated role will be to say that the $6 billion Qatar has given to U.S. higher education is not for the purpose of spreading Islamic radicalism. Qatar has spent almost $100 billion to curry favor with the White House, Congress, academia, think tanks, and corporations. It also bought influence in previous administrations. There are plenty of nations trying to cozy up to Washington and using money to do it. The question is, what does Qatar want in return? Natalie Icano, a senior research analyst at the Foundation for Defensive Democracies, says Qatar wants to be both arsonist and firefighter.
What that means is that Qatar sponsors a host of terrorist and extremist groups. Think Hamas, think the Taliban. So that's the arsonist part. The firefighter part is Qatar coming in and positioning itself as an indispensable peace broker, stability broker in all corners of the world.
Icano says what Qatar seems to want with its money is U.S. protection and a privileged position in policy decisions.
When Qatar engages in more adversarial behaviors, let's say, so sponsoring Hamas, hosting the Taliban, engaging in corruption, Western policymakers aren't necessarily going to hold Qatar accountable to that because they have this close relationship, because they're predisposed to see Qatar in a favorable light.
Qatar did sign a declaration last month condemning Hamas and calling on it to relinquish control of Gaza. Is this a sign of change? Qatar's embassy in Washington did not respond to our request for answers. Carmon, the counterterrorism advisor to two Israeli prime ministers, said America is being fooled. When asked about the 747 being given to the U.S. by Qatar, President Trump suggested he'd be stupid to turn down a free, very expensive airplane. But if nothing is free in geopolitics, the price of the plane and the billions being dumped on Washington is more Qatari influence. As the tiny emirate, which sees itself as the true seat of radical Islam, hopes to leverage its close relationship with the United States. Dale Hurd, CBN News.